Have you ever wondered how the foods we eat today made it to our tables? The truth is that many of them were unrecognizable in their original forms. Today, we'll explore how some common foods have undergone incredible transformations over thousands of years. Let's start with corn, one of the most consumed cereals on the planet. But did you know that corn began as a wild plant called teosinte? Teosinte had small, hard grains, scattered and nothing like the juicy cobs we know today. Over 7,000 years, the ancient peoples of Mesoamerica, through a careful process of selection and cultivation, transformed these modest grains into the robust and nutritious cobs of today. A true marvel of prehistoric agriculture. But how exactly did this happen? Teosinte was not just different in appearance. Its genetics were configured in such a way that the grains were encapsulated in a hard shell, making them almost impossible to eat without significant processing. The ancient farmers noticed natural variations in teosinte that produced softer and larger grains, and began to replant the grains that showed these desirable characteristics. This was the beginning of a long process of artificial selection that, generation after generation, dramatically changed the shape of the plant. Scientists believe that a genetic mutation occurred about 9,000 years ago, which unlocked the plant's ability to transform into something closer to the corn we know today. This mutation affected a gene known as teosinte branch D1, which controlled the architecture of the plant, allowing it to retain its grains in a more centralized and accessible cob. The impact of this change was monumental. The plant became easier to grow and harvest, providing a more efficient and reliable food source. This innovation allowed communities to expand and form complex civilizations, thanks to the availability of abundant food. Beyond its nutritional value, corn became central to Mesoamerican culture and religion. It was not just a food, but a symbol of growth, renewal, and life. Festivals and rituals were created around the planting and harvesting of corn, underscoring its transcendental importance. Now, let's talk about bananas, this sweet and soft fruit that we all love. But make no mistake, the first bananas were anything but appetizing. Wild bananas were full of hard seeds and had very little edible pulp. Over time, varieties with natural mutations that produced fewer seeds and more pulp were selected by farmers in Asia. This process led to the banana we know and love today. But how exactly did this transformation occur? Originally, bananas were cultivated in Southeast Asia, where there is evidence of their use in diets dating back up to 7,000 years ago. However, these early bananas were very different from the varieties that adorn our fruit bowls today. Wild bananas were small and packed with large, hard seeds. The pulp, which was sparse, was not particularly sweet or smooth. These characteristics were not ideal for consumption, but the plant had other valuable qualities: its ability to grow quickly and reproduce easily. Today, the banana is one of the most popular and accessible fruits in the world, with over 150 countries engaged in its production. Delicious, nutritious, and versatile, the banana we know and love is the result of thousands of years of human intervention, a true testament to the impact of agriculture on civilization. In the era of great explorations and global trade, the banana began its journey to become a worldwide staple food. In the 20th century, with the advent of refrigerated ships, bananas could be transported over long distances, reaching markets where fresh fruit was an exotic symbol of prosperity. Thus, each time you enjoy a banana, you are savoring a piece of human history, shaped by the ingenuity and continuous effort of countless generations. And what about carrots? Originally, they were cultivated for their leaves and seeds, not their roots. The first carrots were thin, fibrous, and typically either white or purple. It wasn't until the 17th century that Dutch farmers developed the orange carrot that is globally popular today. They selectively bred mutations that produced thicker, sweeter roots and, of course, a vibrant color. The earliest varieties of carrots, mainly grown in Persia and Asia Minor, were quite different from those we are accustomed to seeing in the supermarket today. These primitive carrots, often purple or white, had a more bitter taste and a significantly tougher texture. Historical records suggest that carrots were valued both for their medicinal properties and their culinary uses. However, the initial appeal of carrots mostly lay in the leaves and seeds, which were used in both remedies and seasonings. The transformation began in Europe, particularly in the Netherlands, where the selection and improvement of carrots took a new direction during the 17th century. Amidst political and cultural tensions, the orange carrot was developed not just for its agronomic qualities, but also as a symbol of national identity for the Dutch. Thus, each time you prepare a carrot, you are partaking in a story thousands of years in the making, shaped by agriculture, selection, and cultural celebration. Last but not least, the tomato. Small and bitter, the wild tomatoes from South America bore little resemblance to the large, juicy fruits we use in our kitchens today. It was only after the tomato was brought to Europe and subsequently improved through centuries of cultivation that it became the foundation of many of our favorite dishes. Originally, tomatoes were as small as berries and varied in color, including yellow, green, and red. They were cultivated and consumed mainly by the indigenous civilizations of South America, where they were valued both for their culinary and medicinal properties. When Spanish conquistadors arrived in the New World, they encountered the tomato and brought it back to Europe, where it was initially met with suspicion. It was believed to be toxic due to its resemblance to belladonna, a plant known for its toxicity. However, over time, agricultural improvements and a better understanding of its culinary qualities transformed the tomato into an indispensable ingredient. The Mediterranean climate, in particular, proved ideal for growing tomatoes, allowing them to flourish and become sweeter and juicier. Today, the tomato is celebrated as one of the most versatile and essential fruits in global cuisine. From simple sauces to sophisticated dishes, tomatoes hold a prominent place in the kitchens of nearly every culture around the world. Thus, the humble tomato, from its modest origins in the Americas to its rise as a staple of global cuisine, exemplifies a journey of acceptance and celebration. From tough grains to succulent cobs, from fibrous roots to robust, sweet vegetables, the journey of our foods is a fascinating voyage through human history. The next time you bite into one of these delicacies, remember the incredible story behind each one. Wheat. Starting with wheat, a staple of global diets. Originating in the Fertile Crescent, a region in the Middle East considered the cradle of agriculture, wild wheat was a hardy plant but cumbersome to handle and harvest. Its seeds would easily detach, making collection difficult. Through domestication and conscious selection by ancient farmers around 10,000 years ago, wheat was transformed into a more manageable plant, whose seeds remain on the spike until harvested, facilitating mass production. This transformation allowed not just the spread of agriculture, but also the development of entire civilizations, given wheat's ability to be stored and transformed into various forms of food like bread and pasta. Rice, essential in the diet of more than half the world's population, follows a similar domestication story. Originating in Asia, wild rice can still be found in wet and aquatic areas. However, domesticated varieties feature larger grains that cling to the stalk, a trait selected to ease harvesting and increase yield. Over millennia, rice varieties have been adapted to different environmental conditions, from the mountains of Nepal to the flooded plains of Southeast Asia, showcasing the incredible adaptability of this cereal. Corn. As previously mentioned, corn is perhaps the most dramatic example of domestication. From teosinte, a plant with small, scattered grains, native peoples of Mesoamerica created through genetic selections, the corn we know today, with its large and nutritious cobs. This transformation not only provided a food base for civilizations like the Mayans and Aztecs, but also plays a crucial role in the modern global economy. Thank you for joining us on this culinary exploration. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing stories like this one. See you next time.